Artists, we are on part 2 of creating your own color wheel. So in the last session, you carefully traced a circle with 12 even spaces. You traced a shape that you liked, 12 times that you cut out and liked that would fit inside these spaces later on. And you should have your watercolor, your brush, a cup filled with a little bit of water, and a paper towel. So we'll get started. I'm going to leave this guide here to help me. Okay. You can also refer to the practice worksheet that you did in the past when you were learning how to mix your primary colors into secondaries and tertiaries. Okay, so I have both papers because I want to paint them simultaneously. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the yellow like you see at the top of the color wheel. And it doesn't have to be in the top here because you can later cut it out and spin it, but for purposes today I am going to make it at the top. So I'm going to get my yellow nice and wet. Make sure it's clean from the last time you used it. If it is not, you can just go back and forth with the brush in the water. You want a really nice clean color. Remember, we're only using red, yellow, and blue to mix today. Okay, so since you traced with that black coloring pencil last time, it will make it so the paint stays inside your spaces. Okay, I'm going to need to wet that brush several times, holding my brush like a pencil. It gives the most steady way of painting. Okay, getting close to the edges. All right, so I have the other sheet because now I'm just going to go right into my first shape and I'm going to paint that yellow. And I'm not really so particular if I stay in the lines for this one because you're going to cut it out. So I'm kind of just making sure I get enough color all over that heart shape. All right, so now I'm done. Now today, I'm going to want you just to go in the order of the colors. It will be easier for you than jumping around and doing all your primaries first, all your secondaries. So if I want to do my yellow-green, remember the greens are made by the two primaries next to it, different amounts. So greens are made from different amounts of yellow and blue. So the yellow-green is going to have more yellow in it. So I'm going to use that yellow again. And I'm going to mix, I'm going to get a nice amount of yellow on here and on this one. And then I'm going to take the teeniest amount of blue, maybe wipe some of it on the paper towel just in case. Well, that's a good yellow-green. Spread that around. Okay. Take a little bit of blue here. Make one yellow-green here. Okay. So now what color is next? Well, green. So I'm still going to be using yellow and blue, but different amounts. So I'm going to get more water on my brush. Yellow, but this time I'm going to need a little bit more blue. Oh wait, I got to get some yellow on this one too. Let's see. Is that one darker? Yeah, that's slightly darker. That's more of a true green. And again, I'm able to paint wet next to wet because of that black outlined colored pencil, keeping that paint inside my space. Okay. Now my blue-green is my next color in the color wheel. Again, more yellow and blue, but this time I'm going to use slightly less yellow and even more blue. Although you still use quite a bit of yellow because it's a lighter color. Okay. So, let's see. I think I need a little more blue there. Okay. Now I'm not going to paint the whole color wheel because I think you got this. I think you can handle this. After we practice on those worksheets, you're going to use that knowledge. but I just wanted you to see that it's easier to paint the colors in the order around the wheel. Okay. Okay, now when I go to blue, straight blue, which is really next in the color wheel, I really got to make sure I get all that yellow if I got some in the blue out. I want to make sure the yellow is clean. It is clean. Okay, so then I would go into blue, and then you have the violets. So the violets would be made by different amounts of red and blue, and then you'd go to your oranges made by different amounts of yellow and red. Now, feel free to change out your water if you need to, because the water, if it gets really dirty, can start contaminating your colors, your yellow, red, and blue, and then that will mess up your color wheel mixing on your coloring spaces. So you're going to continue and paint all 12 spaces. You're going to paint all 12 shapes. When you're done, you're going to make sure you have cleaned out your colors, you clean out your brush, you put your work in a space to dry, and you wipe your area down. Okay, that's part 2 for today, artists. Thank you. See you soon.